Welcome back, Lost to Becoming Family. I'm your host, the one and only Kaylin. We're going to continue to kick off this series, Dropping Your Location. And today, we're going to continue to talk about God, I Don't Understand, Part 2. Hey, family. So, again, we're going to continue on the God, I Don't Understand, Part 2. I'm going to ask the question one more time. So, if you have not got a chance to watch Part 1, you can go back and watch that. But the question was, will you continue to follow God, or will you follow God if you don't have a blueprint of what he's calling you to? I know that right there was a question. It was really hard for me to answer and say yes as I continue to develop my relationship with God. It took me a moment because like I said before in one of my videos, I am one of those, God, just give me everything and I'll just go out here and figure it out. But it's a relationship, it is a process, and he wants to do this with us. So I definitely can learn from my journey that when I start saying like or what do I need to do, or what is going on, God, I don't understand, I don't know what's to come next. Anything that has something to do with I feel like I've kind of started to try to do it in my own works. And as I mentioned last week, that has been the theme of my journey these last 2 weeks, or let's just say within a month or whatever. It's like, God, I don't understand, but I'm going to go out here. I'm jumping anyway. And when it gets frustrating, I think I kind of got ahead of myself. And, well, not really ahead of myself as I just did the I again. But I'm getting ahead of God because, like the first video, we talk about the seed because he doesn't give us everything. And he may just give us turn by turn, or, hey, do this, and give you little pieces at a time. So I think on this journey, it can be difficult without a blueprint. But it's definitely something that really causes me to learn to rely on God. Got a little energy, so hopefully I don't talk too fast, and I don't have to today. But I'm just gonna continue to be obedient and try to knock these out on Wednesdays. Faith and I'm walking with God, and I don't have a blueprint, as we mentioned. So I did want to have a few things I wanted to share that occurred this week. Well, one thing that occurred this week, but sometimes it feels like it's so big. But this, God knows I'm a big visual when it comes to things, which is kind of crazy because then like when I go through stuff and I'm like, God, I don't understand, and then it's like, ooh, that's why. And then I don't like it because I have to have the visual or the example that I go through. I'm like, oh Lord, you could have just sent me a text message. But we all know, like, he asked God for something, he probably have to confirm it, but like 3, maybe 10, like a whole bunch of times. Like, one more time, Lord. And yeah, I don't know if you guys are like that. Definitely let me know I'm not out here alone. Anyways, I hope everybody's week went great. Drop your location when you see this. Definitely can't wait to start connecting more. It's kind of building from God's foundation. Anyways, he gave me, so let me tell you the visual that he gave me, which was kind of a little frustrating because I had to go through and endure it, or process through, whatever word we want to use. Anyways, so me and my best friend was coming back from a road trip from seeing our family, and it should have been 3 hours and 30 minutes. Why? Because that's what the GPS said, right? But it wasn't. It turned into almost like a 6.5 hour drive. And I may be exaggerating, but it felt like it because we should have came back. It was literally over the 3 hours. I'm for sure very frustrated, right? It's like, this is the time it says I needed to be there. This is my destination. This is where I'm trying to go, but it's taking me longer. And the reason why it took us longer to get home was because there was a storm in between the place where I was coming from and the place that I'm coming to. And y'all, I pause sometimes because it's so hard to remind myself that I'm not just talking to family and friends again, which you guys are family and friends. I'm sorry, let me say that. But like people that know me personally, I can't just be dropping like my actual location and people just show up. We ain't got time for that. Anyways, well, I was like in between the place where we were coming from and the place that we were going to our destination or coming home, there was a really big storm, like a rainstorm, and it was one of those storms where you had to, like, for me, I drive with my hazard lights on, and also you drive pretty like slow because you can't see anything. So that's how big the storm was. Like, it was very frustrating. It was uncomfortable. It was back to back traffic. It was uncomfortable for me because I couldn't use cruise, so my foot was hurting, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh! Like, when is this gonna end?" The lightning was way too close, like way too close. That was kind of like, it was like, ooh, but it was like, ooh, that's kind of close. So all of that was going on. I even saw a car slide into the back of another car, which I don't even know how that worked out because it was pouring that rain, so that would suck. Like, I would be mad. Anyways, through all of that heavy rain, oh my gosh, it just felt like it was never going to end because it was always like stop traffic. And I personally don't like traffic. Like, I don't know what it is. I do not like traffic. Like, I am a let's get up at 3 let's get up at 3 in the morning and let's head out so I can avoid it kind of person. But this time we kind of couldn't avoid it because the way we planned our trip. Anyways, and it was kind of like last minute of leaving or whatever. Anyways, long story short, we were stuck in this, like, stuck in traffic. It's raining. It is lightning. It's really close. It feels like it's never gonna end. It's frustrated. My foot hurt. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I really want to get to this destination, but I really just want to stop right here because I really don't want to go any further. I don't know about y'all, but I get like that even on my journey with God. I'm like, oh Lord, like, this is like I'm taking hits after hits, and I just, you know what, God, I'm just gonna sit here. Like, you know how the little kids, they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna pout and I'm just gonna sit here. Anyways, so we finally get probably, I would say, I'm really bad at estimating, but let's say we're about 15 minutes out from our destination to actually arrive home. And it's literally like once we get like within that 15 minute range, it was like it never rained in this area. So it was like it was all the storm. It was heavy stuff going on back there. I thought it was never going to end. Anyways, get over here towards, we're getting closer and closer to our destination, and there's no rain, no storm. It's so sunny, it's bright, like, oh my gosh, the sun is out, blah 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 blah. And um I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, because I was already thinking, like, okay, I didn't want to go anywhere. Let's just get straight home. I don't like your driving in the rain, yada, 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 right? So then we decided, okay, let's go get food. Let's go do a few things. And then that was like, we're so close to the destination. Like, we're so close. And then what happened was there was a few extra little hiccups, what we'll add to with getting food. And, it happened during that. And it was just like, oh, keep my mouth shut, don't argue. It's all right. So that happened. And then it was something else that occurred. And at that moment, I was just kind of over it. Like, I am literally probably like 5 minutes from the house. And I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. Like, I don't even care. Like, if I probably could just park my car and just be like, I'm totally fine with living right here, I would do it, but I'm not. But that's how I was feeling. I was like, man, dang, bro, like, you go through all of this storm, you go through all of this, and then you finally get here, you get close, and then you still getting hits and little extra bumps in the roads or little dings that's kind of hitting you and stuff like that. And it's just like, man, like, what's the point anymore? Which, I definitely love God, like, because He allows us to go through that process and those emotions, and we come to, like, God, what is the point anymore? Like, do I even want this? Um, and we finally got to the destination, and it was awesome. The food was great. Was able to just relax and chill. So I said all of that to get to the point where it's a full process. But even after the storm, even after the hits, that it is so worth it when we do get to our destination. I'm still currently walking through the destination, so I'm just telling you out of my perspective. And just giving everybody hope to just keep going, that this is not the end. There is more after the storm. I always like to say the storm comes up. I mean, the sun comes up. The sun always have to come up one day. So just be ready for when the sun comes up and like it's all pretty and stuff like it is in the spring. It looks all clean and nice. And I'm kind of rushing a little bit because I do these in a little bit of pieces. So I'm trying to make sure I don't overdo it so it doesn't let me not upload them. Anyways, so that's what I want to end this one on is keep your hope in the storm. I know you're so close, and we're just like, God, I just don't want this anymore. But you're closer than you think, and God is with you, and He is definitely in control of what's going on around you. So, lean into Him, and it's hard. It's easier said than done, y'all. I'm walking through this. It is easier said than done. But lean into Him, and He will guide our way. So, all right, guys. Well, what I'm going to do to end this out is just provide you some of the verses God has provided me within this journey. I would advise please go back and read them on your own, whatever version you like. I do have different versions, which I will tell you guys. It's just based on the wording that I like to use, or if that makes sense to me. But the first one that I have is John 13:7. It says, Jesus replied, you do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. Like, if you could just tell me now, that would be easy, right? But that's just between me. I was fine. Let me stop. Anyways, also too, as we mentioned, when we don't have that blueprint, the verse Isaiah 43:18 through 19. This one's the NLT version, and I'm so sorry, the last one was NIV. But this one's NLT. It says, but forget all that. It is nothing compared to what I am going to do. For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland. Ooh, that feels even better when I read it now. Anyways, the next one I have, this is also NLT. Another thing is, because I tell myself I don't understand, is Proverbs 3:5-6. Everybody probably knows this one. But trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek His will in all you do, and He will show you which path to take. All right, and then two more here, and I also like to call these like this one here is like my life verse, and it's crazy how it's one of my life verses are the ones that I really like, but I always tend to worry first, and I hope that probably gave it away which one I'm going to provide, but still in the NLT version. Philippians 4:6-7. It says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. This peace will guard your heart and mind as you live in Christ Jesus. So that one, I literally do that by step, which I should do it more because I don't know. Sometimes worry is my default, and I'm gonna be honest, this is not a perfect walk for me. But tell God what you need. So I take a moment and I'm like, okay, God, what do I need in this moment? And although God already knows what we need, He still wants us in a relationship to bring it to Him, so that it's a relationship. You don't want to just be like, well, it was one side and it's like, well, I already know this. Well, I know this. No, He wants to hear from us. So yeah. So that's just my point. That's what I get. Please read it yourself. And then my very favorite verse. This one, my favorite verse is actually Psalms 138:8. I like it in the New King James Version because it says, the Lord will perfect that which concerns me. Your mercy, O Lord, endures forever. Do not forsake the works of your hands. That one's my favorite one because, like I said, I like to paraphrase this one. So, like, when I'm really, really overwhelmed or stressed out, I can just remind myself that God is already concerned about the things that I'm concerned about. So, what I'm thinking about right now that I don't think I'm going to get through, or what I don't think I understand, He's already got the plan laid out for us. So that one is one of my favorites. And there's different versions, but that, I just like to say He's concerned about what I'm concerned about. So I just want to leave that with you guys. And again, end this out with, will you trust God even if we don't have a blueprint? I love you guys. I want you to continue to remember that you're not lost. You are becoming. And I hope you have a great week.